Hello, War of Harmony Chains videos, and today I'm going to be discussing the new for 2022 Home Depot Halloween animatronics, which were leaked a couple weeks ago. And it's super exciting because we usually don't get glimpses of this stuff until June, but we got them in March and April, which is super exciting. I'm really excited about all of these. It looks like a pretty cool lineup. We don't know what most of these do, of course, because they're just pictures right now, but some of them look pretty cool, and I'm just gonna jump right in. We're gonna start with Fraser the Clown, which I know is definitely a popular one. A lot of people seem to like this one. I like it a lot too. I think it's a really unique looking clown for sure. I really love the look. I love how he has that top hat. I love the dark gothic look to him. I love the flowers that he's holding. My complaint with him is that apparently, now don't quote me on this, but I heard that he's 7 feet tall. Not needed. It really doesn't need to be 7 feet tall. I've mentioned this before. I love giant, scary, tall props. I think they're awesome. However, I don't think every single prop needs to be tall. They can be average sized, and this is a prop that I think should be an average size because he doesn't look like a monster clown. He looks like a person dressed as a clown. And so I don't get why he's over 7 feet tall, but with that out of the way, he looks really cool. I'm really interested to seeing what this guy does. Next up, we have this pumpkin stack here, which is very reminiscent of, if you know, for last Christmas, they had a present stack that was 8 feet tall. This is basically the same thing. This is 8 feet tall. It is a pumpkin stack. This one is really, really cool. This one intrigues me a lot. As soon as I saw it, I pictured the different options you could do with this thing. It'd be great for an entrance into like a farm haunt or something. But what I thought first off when I looked at this is how cool would these look with two on either side of the Inferno pumpkin skeleton from last year. And it made me really want these. Now I think they're gonna be around $250. That's how much the Christmas ones were. So that's kind of a lot, especially because of the fact that, I mean, you can buy one, but with the ideas I had in mind of what I would like to use them for, I would want two and $250 for that. That would be $500 for two of these, which is a lot of money. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna get them. If I do, I might just get one just because I think it's really cool, especially how it's 8 feet tall. I think it's really cool. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what they're like in person. I'm sure they'll probably come to stores. Like, I think I already mentioned, we don't know which of these are coming to stores and which are going to be online only. There's not really a way of knowing yet. But I'm hoping that these ones come to stores, and I'm assuming they probably will. Next up, we have Oogie Boogie. Yes, we finally have gotten a life-size Oogie Boogie. I don't know why it took them so long, but we finally got it. And it is made by Jemmy, so it'll go perfectly with the Jack and Sally. I still need the Sally, and I actually want the newer version of Jack that sings Jack's Lament, as opposed to the one that I already own. So, yeah. But I really, really like this Oogie Boogie. I've wanted an Oogie Boogie prop for a long time, ever since the original Jack came out. I really wanted them to make an Oogie Boogie to go with him because Oogie Boogie is actually my favorite character from the film, other than the Harlequin Demon, but I know we're never going to get a prop of him, unfortunately. But this is a cool prop. However, I do not like I'd assume the green in his body is because he probably has green lights in his body. I don't know. I don't like that. I know Oogie Boogie's actual color is not green. It's because of the black light in his lair. However, I think they should have chosen either make him green or make him brown, because the issue here is his head and hands are brown and then his body's green, and it just doesn't look right at all. I would have preferred if he was just green, or if they had lights in his head and hands too, but he doesn't have any. They're just in his body, and just his body lights up green, and it looks really off. Honestly, though, I would have preferred no lights at all for them to either just make him green or brown, because I'm not a big fan of lights on props, because then it doesn't look as good when you shine a light onto the prop if there's already lights inside of it. But yeah, he's a cool one, definitely one I want to get because I've been waiting for this for a while. Though he does have a few issues, I'm willing to look past them because he looks great. I'm really curious to see what he's going to do. I'm pretty sure his mouth is going to move. Not sure what else he's going to do, but it's very, very interesting to finally see an Oogie Boogie. This next one is the Bartender. This one really interests me I wish it didn't look as cheap as it does. It looks cheap. However, it's so cool that I'm willing to look past that. I don't know if it's one I would get, but we're finally getting Wild West props. I mean, I consider it Wild West. You could use it in something else, but to me, it looks like a Wild West bartender, and I'm pretty sure that was the idea they wanted with this. Curious about what it's gonna do. Really digging this one. I think it's pretty cool. Next up, we have the 12-foot witch. Now, this is not like the normal 12-footers. This is a witch who has a broom that sticks up really high in the air, and she's holding on to the broom with one hand and she's flying. It's odd, but it's cool. I think it's cool because of how high up she's going to be flying. It's gonna look like she's floating. I think that's cool. However, I think the broom is way oversized, and I also think it's weird that the broom is touching the ground while she's flying. Honestly, I know why, because it's hard to do this flying in the air idea without the broom. However, I think they could have just done like a black pole, because you wouldn't really be able to see it at night, and had her flying on the broom like a normal witch, connected to a black pole that connects to the ground. I think that would have looked better. This just looks odd. Not one I'm gonna get, but if it is going to be in stores, I'm definitely interested in seeing it. This one, obviously I'm excited about it. This is probably my favorite one. I don't know, Oogie Boogie's pretty cool, but this is probably my favorite one. The 10-foot werewolf. This guy's apparently animated, which I'm assuming his head is gonna lean back and his mouth is gonna move. I'm torn on whether I like him being animated or not, because I think having a 10-foot werewolf lean his head back and howl is one of the coolest things ever. However, at the same time, these 10-foot ones, unless you have a really tall ceiling, can mostly really only be used outside. And I wouldn't want to only use this on Halloween night. I'd want to use it throughout the entire Halloween season. And if it's animated, it's going to get ruined outside. So I think they should have just stuck with what they're doing with the other 10-foot, 12-foot props and just not made it animated. For some reason, all the 10-foot ones so far have been animated, while the 12-foot ones aren't. I would have preferred if they would have just not made it animated at all, and just had it be a standing one with the LCD eyes. I think that would have worked fine. However, I still love it. Now, even though I love it, I'm not sure if I'm going to get it, simply because I already have the Inferno Pumpkin Skeleton. So unless I were to sell that one and get this one, I don't think I'm going to get it, and I don't know if I'm going to do that because I love the Inferno Pumpkin Skeleton a lot, and it may come as a surprise to you, but I actually like him more than the werewolf just because I really like his lighting effect, and he's 12 feet as opposed to 10. However, this werewolf is still going to be super cool to see in person. I'm looking forward to it, and I've got to make a decision because I would really like to own this guy, but it comes between choosing between the two because they're both very big animatronics, or just props because the pumpkin skeleton is not an animatronic. Next up, we have the Goblin Thief, or the Thieving Goblin. I don't remember his name. Finally, a goblin. Goblins are so classic for Halloween, however, we never see them. And I'm not just talking about animatronics. We never see them in decor, we never see them in props, we never see them in costumes. I mean, it's weird because literally one of the most well-known things that I've ever heard for Halloween is ghouls and goblins and ghosts. Ghosts, ghouls, and goblins are what a lot of people say lurks around on Halloween. You've heard it in movies, you've heard it in old singing things. Yet we don't get goblins. We've only ever gotten one other goblin animatronic to my knowledge, and that's Poppin' Goblin from Spirit Halloween 2012. Finally, we got another goblin. I think that's awesome. Now, it's not really what I prefer of a goblin. I would have preferred if it was just a classic Halloween, like the Poppin' Goblin was, orange and black. I think that's awesome. However, this is the more, how do you put it? The more traditional look of the goblin and kind of the medieval type clothing. Definitely what I'm interested in looking into purchasing, depending on, I don't know the price, and depending on what it does, the phrases. It looks like it's either going to pull this skeleton out of a bag or it's going to push it in. Looks super cool. I'm incredibly interested to see this. Next up, we have the 15-foot Phantom. Oh boy. Let me get into this one. Very cool concept. 15 feet tall, that's incredible. Probably gonna be around $400 or so, I'm assuming. 15 feet tall, that is quite cool. And it is going to be quite cool to see in person, hoping it's in stores, because I know I'm not gonna purchase it. He looks a little plain, is one of my issues. But I think my main issue, I don't know how sturdy this thing's gonna be. Because if you look at the pictures, it's so skinny that I don't know if it's gonna be able to sustain wind. I mean, I'm sure it will, because I'm sure they've made it in a way where it won't just snap in half. However, at the same time, it looks so skinny that it looks like there's only 1 or 2 poles holding it up, going either up one side or both sides or just in the middle. And that's a little concerning. It looks like it might snap in the wind or something, and it looks kind of scary. I would probably be a little scared standing under it that it's going to fall on me, because with the 12-foot and the 10-foot ones, they actually are incredibly sturdy, because they've got the 2 legs coming up, which add a lot of support. This guy doesn't have 2 legs. He's just 1 sheet. So I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out. But also the fact that he's 15 feet tall also means he better be super secure. So we'll see. Not one I would get anyways, but definitely an interesting one. I would assume he's going to be static, because if he moves at 15 feet tall, that's going to be insane. But we shall see. We have the Standing Witch. It's garbage. I'm going to move on. That's all I had to say about that one. It looks terrible. I don't even care to talk about it. Moving on. I'm going to move on with another uneventful one, just so I can get it out of the way. Cauldron Witches. Cool concept. Great concept. Awesome concept. We've seen it like a million times every year. If they want to keep doing Cauldron Witches, just bring back the same one again and again. Don't give us a new one that just says something a little different each year. Just bring back the same one. What is the point of this? Because I actually liked the original model, or one of the original models, a lot. I can't keep track at this point. One of the original ones I actually wanted to buy, but I haven't cared for the new ones. Why couldn't they just keep returning the same one? I don't know. They're essentially the same thing. They hold something different each time. They say something a little bit different each time. I have no clue why they keep doing this, but they do, and cool prop. I mean, they're not bad. They are really cool, but why keep giving us a new variant of essentially the same thing instead of just bringing back the same thing? I have absolutely no clue. Colossal Spider. This guy's cool. Now, we've had something like this for a few years. I'm not sure what's different about this one. I think this one has fur and the other ones didn't. I don't know. I can't really tell. I don't see too big of a difference. But it's cool that they're getting it. I don't think it's going to be in stores. However, if it is, or even if it isn't, I'm interested in it, because this thing is, judging off of the other ones, and the picture of this one looks cool, but judging off of the size of the other ones, I've never seen one in person, but I've seen pictures. They're absolutely massive. And so, yeah. I've always wanted to get one, so now that they're bringing this one, or which is essentially the same as the other ones, I can't really see the difference. I haven't really compared the two. Let me know in the comments what the difference is. I'm interested in this one for sure. This is another one I don't really care for. Faceless grabbing scarecrow. It looks like it's going to essentially be the same thing as the Inferno scarecrow and whatever the one in 2020 was called. I can't remember. There was the Inferno scarecrow last year, and there was one before that, but I can't remember what it was called. But they... Rotting scarecrow? I don't remember. But they, those are cool props. I would assume this one's essentially going to do the same thing. It just looks less cool, and I don't know why it's called Faceless Scarecrow when it has a very visible face, but hey, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Next, we have one that I think is pretty cool, because I really do like medieval stuff, the Malevolent Wizard. And I think it's the best low-budget wizard prop we've seen, because we haven't seen very many. We've seen like one before. I think it's only been one. I think it's the best one. It's really cool looking, for sure, and I really like it. I don't care for the crystal ball too much, just because, I mean, it fits the character, but I don't know why. I've just never been a big fan of crystal balls. I don't know why. They're just bland to me, and they're not spooky. They're just look into your future. I don't know. I do like sorcerers though. I think he would have been done better without it, because also the crystal ball makes him feel like a Pan-Asian Creations CVS animatronic for some reason, because I'm just picturing it having like color changing. I hope it's not color changing. I hope if it's a crystal ball it does something cool, like it swirls around or something. I really am hoping it's not color changing, because other than that, this guy is really cool looking. So if it doesn't do that, I think that'll look really cool. I'm only going to discuss these briefly because they're not too big of a deal, but I still want to talk about them. We have Pumpkin Twins coming back, however, these ones are in trick-or-treater costumes. They're not bad. I mean, I just don't really... I really liked the Pumpkin Twins last year, but I don't know. These ones, I don't like as much. I don't know why. Because I've always wanted creepy trick-or-treater props, but for some reason I just feel like this prop isn't the one to do it with, because I liked the other ones better, but I don't know, that's just me. We also have a 3-foot doll. We get one of these every year. Nothing's too special. A 3-foot witch, again, nothing too special. And I don't believe we have pictures of these two yet that I've seen, but there's a 3-foot Oogie Boogie and a 3-foot Jack Skellington, apparently, which is interesting, and maybe I'll get them because that sounds pretty cool, just to have them to add to my Nightmare Before Christmas collection, because those do sound pretty cool. I'm interested to see what they'll look like for sure. We are coming down to the last two here. We have Reaper of Souls, who I think is probably going to do the same thing as Inferno Reaper. I like this one better, actually. I know a lot of people say Inferno Reaper's better. I actually like this one better because I really like the red cloak. One that I'm actually interested in maybe purchasing. I don't know. I'm not sure which of these I'm going to get yet. I really don't know. I'm sure I'll get at least one, but I'm not really sure which yet because we don't know what they do. I mean, I'll get Oogie Boogie, but other than Oogie Boogie, I'll probably get one more. I'm not sure which one yet because we don't know what they'll do, but this guy looks pretty cool. I love his red cloak. I think he's definitely one of the coolest Grim Reapers we've seen in recent years, and even if he does the same thing as Inferno Reaper, I'm fine with that because Inferno Reaper had some cool animation, so I'm fine with that. It's just a really cool looking version. This one even more so reminds me of something that you'd see on a metal album. Bam, I just thought of what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the Misfits. The Misfits mascot for the band Misfits. I'm pretty sure, is he always in a red cloak? Now I can't remember. I don't remember if he's always in a red cloak or just sometimes. I don't know, but I know he's been in a red cloak, and that's what it reminds me of. Really cool looking. Last but certainly not least, and actually this is one that I'll probably buy, because I'm assuming it's not going to be too expensive. I'm hoping it's not going to be too expensive. It's a Coffin, and that is cool. Now, I already know, I'm already hearing the comment in my head right now, and I already know someone's gonna say it, so I'm gonna shut down that comment before someone even says it. Too bad this wasn't released last year so you could use it in the Mortem Manor. I wouldn't have used it in the Mortem Manor. Here's why. The Mortem Manor was supposed to be in the 1800s. Their coffins did not look like this back then. This is more early 20th century than mid 19th century. Their coffins in the mid 19th century were wooden, whereas this is a full casket with the red padding inside and everything, which is not what they would have buried people in back then. So before that comment happens, no, it would not have been good for the Mortem Manor. However, this is still one I really want to get just because I love me some gothic mansion cemetery type stuff anyways, and it would just be one that I'd really like to own to incorporate in either just a display, just yard display, or something for future use. I don't know, but it is something really cool, and I would like to own it if it's not $200, which I heard a rumor that it might be, and if it is, I don't know why, because it's just an empty coffin, But if it's not, then it's one I'd like to get. Now the lid's open. I don't know if the lid opens or if it's just like that for the picture. And there's red lights inside, which is pretty cool. I think that's a nice touch because that means you don't have to shine your own light on whatever you put in there. There's already lights there. Like I said, I don't like lights that are already on props, but I feel like in this case, because they're used as spotlights in the coffin, it works. I am really, really hoping the lid does not open by itself and make a creaking noise or whatever, because though that is cool, I would prefer if this was just a static lit coffin that you can put a corpse in and either have the lid closed, open, without animation. So I am really hoping that the case is that it is just a static coffin prop, because that would be super cool. I'm hoping that's what it is, and I'm assuming that's probably what it is, but we shall see. Anyways, that was all the Home Depot 2022 Halloween animatronics and props, because that coffin may not be an animatronic, who knows. Really good lineup. Until we see what these do, I don't know if it's going to beat out the 2022, or no, this year's 2022. The 2021 lineup. I feel like 2021 might have been one of their best lineups in recent years, if not ever. So I don't know if it's going to beat it out yet. It has potential to, but we got to wait and see what these things do, and we got to wait to see what's in stores too, because what's in stores really impacts that, because it's what you can see in person. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on these new animatronics props in the comments below, and which one you like, which ones you like, and which ones you may be purchasing or you're just looking forward to seeing. I hope you all enjoyed. And remember, we are almost halfway to Halloween. There's about 2 more weeks until we hit the official halfway point, and then it's all downhill from there. We've hit the peak of being halfway there, and then we're heading there from here. So get prepared, because Halloween 2022 is coming. I hope you all enjoyed. Keep howling at the moon, my werewolves.